I always feel like there needs to be some dancing at the beginning of the show. Like, not only am I dancing, but you guys gotta dance. I think this music just screams, let's dance, everybody. All right, I'll turn the music off. I could keep going, but I will not. Welcome to Beyond the Camera. I am your host, Jamie Hain, and I'm all about getting you on camera to help you grow your business, because that's what it's all about. But growing your business is much more than just doing videos. And the purpose of this show is to interview guests with expertise in other areas of growing a business. And they're going to share their expertise beyond the camera. And I am super excited about my guest today. I know she's giggling off screen here, but I have been practicing saying her name like nobody's business, even to the point where I'm like, my husband is like, you're going to be getting in, you're practicing too much. You're going to mess this all up, but I am not going to mess this up. So everybody prepare to be amazed. And she's going to let me know how I did. My guest today is, oh no, see the pressure. Oh, the pressure. Okay. My guest today is Chinelo Onunekwu. And how did I do? I'm hoping I did okay there. It was not my, I can do better. My guest today is Chinelo Onunekwu. And she is a stay-at-home mom. She educates her kids at home, rather. And she also has another business where she is a property entrepreneur, which I'm super curious about. And then she is the founder of EntrepreMums, which we're going to find out what is that all about. What is an EntrepreMum and what is EntrepreMum Guilt? I'm so curious and I can't wait to hear all about it and share it with all of you. So please join me in welcoming Chinelo. First of all, how did I do with the name? Did I at least get a B?
You got an A star. You got an A star.
I have been practicing. Okay, you say your name and you introduce yourself because you're going to do it much better.
Hello, everyone. My name's Chinelo Onunekwu. You see, you weren't far from it.
I wasn't far. I didn't quite have it, but okay, you're right. I did all right. Tell us what you do.
So my name's Chinelo Onunekwu. If you imagine Jamie, I've been married almost 23 years. I've had 23 years to practice myself.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I am a home educating mum. You guys call it homeschooling in Canada and the States. I used to be an IT consultant, but I took some time out to home educate our children. I've got entrepreneurship running in my veins. So we started, my husband and myself, a property business. A property entrepreneur is everything you could possibly think about in property. I'm constantly investing myself, studying and learning about property. And that's what I do day to day in my day-to-day life. And EntrepreMums.
Yes, let's start there. What is an EntrepreMum? What is it?
An EntrepreMum is literally, in my mind, it's who I am. An entrepreneur and a mum. And I combined both to celebrate who I wanted to be and never seemed able to achieve till I became an EntrepreMum. So most people think that you can either be a mum or an entrepreneur, and both of them can't live in harmony. So calling out the EntrepreMums is to define the fact that we can actually have everything and do them both together.
Yes. I love that. So what got you started? I mean, why start this business? What fueled starting EntrepreMums?
Very interesting question, because as I mentioned earlier, I used to be an IT consultant and then I went into property, both in the UK where I live, are male-dominated areas. So I constantly struggled with being able to say that I was a mum, and I was struggling with things. So for instance, my children, when they were young, would be ill at night. And I'd go to work feeling guilty, even though I hadn't had much sleep. But I felt I couldn't say anything about my children because I needed to put my big girl knickers on and come to work and perform like everybody else, and it wasn't permitted for me to talk about it. So I constantly had this knot in the bottom of my stomach, constantly feeling I wasn't being a good enough mother when I was at work, and constantly feeling I wasn't being a good entrepreneur when I was carrying out my business, because I was constantly worrying about my children. And it was this thing about a constant living in constant anxiety and worry and guilt all the time. And I thought the whole point of staying home and creating a business I could run from home was to be able to give me the time freedom to enjoy my family. But I created something that was making me feel that I couldn't spend time with my family, and I didn't feel that I had a right to do well in my business, because I felt I was robbing my family of myself. So I took a step back, like I said, my training in IT, and I had to think, how could I make things work? And this was just for me at the time. Out of the frustration and desperation, I created
and almost like leading separate lives, segmenting them so much. Yeah,
exactly. But every time I lived a separate part of my life, I felt guilty. I wasn't giving myself to the other bit, if that makes sense. So I had to think about a way of merging both of them and being happy in that role, because I couldn't depart from any of them. I just felt they were both part of me, and I couldn't lose any. So using systems, strategies, just structure, just practical things for myself, like I said, I created a system that helped me start to function, manage my time efficiently. I worked a lot on my mind. I still do, because I felt I was undeserving. I felt I didn't have a right to call myself a mom. I felt, my children would probably do better at school, which I knew at the time they wouldn't, because there are various reasons why we had them at home, and they loved being at home. We loved being together as a family. I heard, I had to give up my business, but I didn't need to do that either. So with these systems in place and working on my mind, I got to a place where I was enjoying both roles. So I was able to separate parts of my life. Sometimes there's synergy between both, but I was able to realize when I'm working, I'm working. When I'm being a mom, I'm being a mom, and both are important. And what I found was lots of women, because when you're going through something, there's that tunnel vision, one foot in front of the other, trying to survive, and you don't see anything else around you. And then when I got to the place where I was functioning properly, lots of other women kept saying to me, how do you manage this? You're a home educator, you run a business, you do this, you do the other. Where do you find the time? I thought, wow, I'm not the only one going through this, because I thought there was something about me that was wrong. And I suddenly realized there are lots of women, and it didn't matter where they were in business, because we have this thing about, we're always sold these pictures, these images of women in boardrooms and succeeding in really masculine positions and suits, and being told that that's what we should aspire to. But what mums want to be is in their joggers making millions of pounds or dollars. It doesn't matter. You can do it all. You can have it all. It doesn't make you less of a person if you wake up and there's food stuck in your hair and you're striking $10,000 million deal. It doesn't matter. So it's taking back that power and not feeling guilty. I was speaking to one of the ladies I coach, and I was saying to her, can you imagine going into work and somebody says to you, oh, you're late again, and you feel guilty because you stayed awake all night catering for a child who's been ill. You've somehow survived on an hour's worth of sleep. You're standing and presenting something to a group of people. We need to have the power to say, yes, but all you did was get out of bed and come here. But we're made to feel guilty for that. So we need to be able to step back and think, yes, but I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things before I got here. You've only done one. And celebrate that. So that's my mission, to say to women, mums who run businesses, no more guilt. No more guilt. You're enough. You're doing well.
I want to ask those of you that are with us live, and if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay and answer afterwards. Does this idea of being an EntrepreMum, I love saying that like I'm British or something, an EntrepreMum, does it speak to you? Like, does this resonate as Chinelo was talking about this guilt and, this, how do I merge these two sides? And I will share while you guys are commenting, I asked Chinelo early on, I'm like, well, I'm not a mom, so it doesn't really apply to me. And she's like, but you're a dog mom. And there is some correlation there. And especially with my high maintenance dog, there's still the guilt. It's the guilt of, I think I said it earlier on my live. It's the home life and the work life, and how does it come together? Exactly. Right? Exactly. Okay, so let's see. We do have some. There's some technical difficulties. People are trying to keep getting kicked off. So hopefully that works itself out. I'm sorry, Stephanie, that's happening to you. Hopefully, I know I see some other people on. Will you guys just drop me a note in the text chat that you're able to see us? Okay. I just want to make sure. I don't know that there's anything I would even know what to do to fix it, but.
Maybe
I would say that's what I'm going to say. Maybe try going out, Stephanie, and coming back in, or closing down. You might even need to reboot your computer. That's about the only thing I can think of. So, okay. So Chinelo, we talked a little bit about in there. You talked about your own guilt, and you kind of coined the phrase EntrepreMum Guilt, right? Is there anything more we need to know about EntrepreMum Guilt, or are we ready to talk about like how we deal with it?
I think we're ready to talk about how we deal with it, because EntrepreMum Guilt, for I think every mum, including you, Jamie, every mum, as long as you're responsible for something or someone, there is that element of guilt, the merging of both sides of our lives. But for an EntrepreMum, somebody who owns their business, you're not just responsible for your vision and your dream, you're responsible for sometimes people that work with you, and then your children. So it's to say EntrepreMum, a different kind of mum, if you like, and the guilt that we feel.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking back to my corporate life, I often felt like a mom at work.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah, especially if you're a boss. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So I know you've got three reasons of how to deal with EntrepreMum Guilt. Is that what you told me? 3? I can't remember how many.
Yes.
You're going to help us here. How do we deal with this?
3 main things. What I alluded to initially was the mindset. It's about our minds. We have what I like to call the minds monkeys, feeling that we're not enough, we're not deserving, we've got to give up one thing or the other. That's the first place to start. When I work with a lot of women, I think because innately we're nurturers, we're givers by nature as women and then mums, most people feel, oh, maybe it's because I'm being too selfish, or maybe I'm wanting too much. So to deal with those things, because whatever we do, on this side, when we get to that strategies and systems, that's what I use. So mindset, strategies, and systems, and the 3 things that I work on. But we can't deal with the strategies and systems because there'll always be the self-sabotage if the mind isn't dealt with. And when we talk about mindset, it's not just about our minds, it's feeling that we're deserving of earning money. Money is something that most women and mothers don't like talking about because we feel we're either too greedy or too selfish. I know it's changing a lot, but with the EntrepreMum Guilt, there's always that thing about the more money I earn, the less of a mother I am. That's not true either. So we deal with those things where you need to know that you're an example, a role model to your child or children. They need to aspire to grow up. If all they see is you, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with mums who are staying at home. I'm saying if you have a dream which you've ever vocalized to a child, they'll be watching to see how you make that dream come true. If at some point they start to see that you feel undeserving of that dream because of them, it has a negative effect on them in many ways, which we don't realize. First, I can't dream anymore because I'm an adult. Once I become a parent, my dreams don't matter. We need to be mindful of those, so work on those things. It's also the thing about time freedom. People say money doesn't buy you happiness. It kind of does, because it buys you the things that allow you to be happy with your children. The biggest thing that money buys is time. If we have time, then we can arrange to do the other things that we can outsource very easily in our business and spend time with that child without the child feeling they're a source of frustration. And then we feeling guilty because we showed them there was a source of frustration. So, strategies and systems. A lot of mums have dreams and ambitions about what they want to achieve, and that's a good place to start.
Have one, right? Have a dream.
Have a dream.
Yes.
We all do actually. Every young girl had a dream, whatever it was. There's barely any girl you talk to who didn't have a dream. But as we grow older, we tend to push those dreams down. So bring the dream back up. But then what I help you do is the practical things that help you achieve those dreams. Because you need the tangible strategies, the tangible things that help you step by step get to where you want to go to, which many people don't think about. Then we have the systems. That's the most powerful bit of it. How we use systems to manage our time efficiently such that we can be in so many places at once, achieve so many things at once, whilst being with our children. Automation, which many people use online. That's one of the systems we talk about. Outsourcing, things like that. So yes, mindset, strategy, and systems.
I love that. I love it. And let me ask you this question. I know we often can, like you were saying earlier, we can get so focused on our business and everything we need to do with our business. And we just get like uber focused on that. And then you feel guilty because you're ignoring your family or your kids or in my case, my dog or whatever it is. Right. But in applying the systems and the strategies and the mindset to both is the key, right? It's not just applying it to your business. It's applying it to both sides, right?
Yes.
But how does that help our business grow? Like how does mom guilt impact our businesses?
Okay, I'll start by talking about it negatively.
Okay.
If you are succeeding with your business or on your business, in your business, and then feeling you are failing at home, eventually it comes to a place where we think, to be able to succeed at home, I need to give up more of myself at work or in my business. And businesses start failing. I was reading a statistic about most businesses, because there's statistics about businesses that fail in the first 3 years. And somebody did an in-depth analysis as to why they fail. And it's not because they couldn't succeed. It was that the owners gave up. Yeah. And I thought that was fascinating, because what then happens, we sabotage ourselves out of that business because we're feeling guilty about not being the ever-present mum or giving time to our children. However, the flip side of it is when we get these systems in place, we have a strategy for running our business. A simple thing, for instance, if you were to decide, I wanted to be online 5 times a day, and you use an automation system, for instance, to automate your presence 5 times a day. Those 5 times a day, you're achieving in your business, but you're not there physically. You're spending the time with your child. So your business is growing because you need the visibility to grow, but you're not feeling guilty about it because you're with your child. So it impacts the business in the sense that we can help it grow. We gain more clients. We make more money, the money we desire to earn. We can actually, using the strategies, help our businesses go where we want them to go without compromising on that time with our families or at home.
Yeah. Oh, and I would think if you're happier with both sides, if you've got this balance going on, you're going to perform better in both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So I know I have another question, and I know this isn't something that I told you I was going to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So for those people who are like, but I don't have the money yet out of my business to invest in systems and all of that, I'm not there yet. Any advice for somebody like that?
Of course. When I talk about systems, it doesn't have to be anything expensive.
Okay.
In some cases, it's literally on a Sunday night doing a brain dump. I love to do that. Just emptying my head and visualizing where my week is going. What have I got planned? What are my non-negotiables? I must achieve this week. How do I achieve it? What could stop that from happening? Where do I put in things that I may not have planned for that may come up in the week? How would that affect my schedule? Something as simple as that. Doing that on a Sunday night, which is what I do. I try and think about what my week is going to be like. Who do I need to get in touch with? That kind of stuff. That's a system.
Okay.
build the routine to make sure that that bit of our lives are functioning.
So it's systems, not just
Yeah.
bringing in people or software. It's systems you're using as processes and habits and how you
Routine,
structure your day, routines. All of that matters. Okay.
all of it.
All of it matters. Okay. I want to make sure that those of you that are either tuning in live or if you're watching on the replay, if you have questions for Chinelo, drop them in the comments and we'll make time to answer those questions. You've got a free resource for everybody, right? And I put the link up above this video. Tell them what they're getting inside of this free resource, because it's all about dealing with EntrepreMum guilt. But what are they going to get?
Okay. Again, it was a recap of dealing, well, mindset. A lot, the beginning of it is a lot of mindset work, because like I said, you can't actually efficiently use the systems without dealing with the mind. So there are many things that I know are common to mums and EntrepreMums, and I've addressed that in the free resource, and then given a 7 productivity planners. So in answer to your question, Jamie, it's not stuff they have to pay for. It's literally stuff you download and can start using immediately to plan your life, plan your week, both at home and in your business. So that's what they get.
Well, I'm downloading it as soon as we are done here. But I want to bring on some comments onto the screen. So Kathy talks about struggling with systems because every day is different. How do you deal with that, Chinelo, when every day is different? How do you put a system into place to deal with that one?
Fantastic. Being a mum, our lives, we have many things are moving all the time. So many moving parts. So it's making sure that the system, the routines you can control, you deal with. And it's not about having 50 different things that work. We're in a place where when mums suffer with mum guilt or EntrepreMum guilt, there's so many moving parts, like I said. So you pick 1, 2, 3 things and decide these are the things I'll focus on. It's like building blocks, one thing at a time. Just take one thing that you think you can handle. If it's meal planning at home or having a grocery list and ordering food online, so you don't get to the end of the day after a long day at work, if you work or running a business, and think, oh my goodness, what are we going to eat? Because that's one of the stresses that mums have. There was something I posted in our group where a mum was sitting waiting for dinner and suddenly thought everyone's waiting for me and I have got nothing planned. It's amazing. Most women get to the end of the day and that's it. So take one thing that gives you the most stress and you can manage easily and start there. And if everything else is changing, you can tick the box. I know I've got this one thing covered, and just stick with it till it works and becomes a part of your life. You add something else on.
Love it. I've practiced this as well in my own life. 3 things, but what I've learned today from you is typically my 3 things in a day, they're all work. And I think you've just given me permission to be like, my 3 things, if 1 or 2 or all 3 of them today need to be about my home life, my family life, then that may be the priority. So I just had an aha moment. You just blew my mind. So
may I say something actually?
Yes,
it's your life. It doesn't have to be set in stone. I was working with one of the team members and she was having a meltdown earlier this year. And I asked her what the issue was. And she said, oh, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I've got to do this. And I said to her, stop. Tell me the 3 things in different places that you need to do with your family, yourself, and around the home. And she said to me, well, I've got the laundry, which I haven't sorted. I said, okay. And she said, I haven't done any food. And then for herself, she didn't have anything for herself, but she wanted to send up some birthday cards. I said to her, set a timer, 15 minutes, deal with the laundry, nothing else, 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, after the timer goes, another 15 minutes, stand in front of your fridge or freezer, your cupboards, and pull out something you could make. And then for the next 15 minutes, write your cards. That was it. And she came back on after an hour, because I gave her an hour. That was 45 minutes. And then I told her to just relax for 15 minutes, come back on. And she felt amazing. It's that thing of control, of finally being able to do something I was panicking about. 15 minutes may not seem like a long time, but it does make a difference.
It makes a huge difference. I was on a call earlier this week and talking about, honestly, social media, and it just can take so much time and you go down this rabbit hole and all of a sudden hours go by. And that coach gave me the same advice you just did. Set a timer and say, okay, I can do this for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever period of time you're going to allow yourself. And then when it goes off, then it's time for the next task. And I need to be better at that. I love what Sherry says. We can often do this, Sherry. We fly by the seat of our pants, and we need to be more structured. And I love the timer. I also know that I'm better when I put things in my calendar as appointments. So if I have work to do, it's an appointment, and I'm doing it from between this time and this time.
Yes.
It's amazing how much that helps with focus as well. Okay. I want to get to, you also have a membership. So tell everybody about the membership.
Okay. It's the membership is a self-development program for women. It digs a bit, it dives a bit deeper into the things I've talked about. Covers mindset, like I said, strategy, systems. What you get is bite-sized modules, because as mums, we have a lot of talk coming into our ears. So many people think, oh, the more I give you, the better. Not really. We want to hear, what's that one thing I can do now to make a difference? And that's my goal. I also have, within the membership, you have consumable digital products that you can either use, like I said, about planners, but I also give you things that you can use to start your own business or to help in your business that you can actually sell. A lot of work has gone into them. Things that you can use, so they're journals, they're planners, they're affirmation sheets. So it's not just me helping you with your life, but it's something that can help you with passive income, give you ideas if you don't have any, and they're new ones every month. And then we have people like Jamie who come in to talk to us, experts, which you get when you join the membership.
And it's a really reasonably priced membership. I know you've told me what it is in pounds, and I probably need to do the calculation of what it is in dollars. I'm gonna get the calculator out. What does it cost?
It's about $9. $9, so £7.
$9. Okay, yeah, £7, $9.
Yeah, a month. Yes. So if you imagine, if you wanted to buy, say, I don't know, a digital, the time it would take you to create one digital product to sell. If you went to Etsy and paid £27, so you've paid for what? 3 months of the membership, but you get it for free. It's a no-brainer in my eyes.
It's a no-brainer. Okay, if people want to connect with you, I put the links, everybody, the links to the free resources up above, and the link to join her membership is up above. But if they want to just connect with you personally, where is the best place for them to connect with you, Chinelo?
I always say the group, EntrepreMums. That's a Facebook group. EntrepreMums. However, me personally, I'm on LinkedIn as Chinelo Onunekwu. There you'll see the property bits of my life, but you can connect with me there. On Instagram, at EntrepreMums. So at
EntrepreMums. Okay. That's something
my Facebook profile is Chinelo Onunekwu. Jamie.
Onunekwu.
There you go.
Okay. For those of you that are in the Go Live League, which is my membership, we have a VIP session with Chinelo right after this over in Zoom. Tell everybody what we're going to talk. I mean, it's on the screen. We're going to talk about money and mindset, but this is actually part of something in your membership that you're going to teach us a piece of, right? So what can they look forward to there?
We look forward to talking about mindset for mums and a little bit of what I talked about, money. Why do we have such a struggle with money? When we're mums, when we're women, why do we have that kind of struggle? So dig a little bit into it and see. Because that's the foundation for everything. And that's the other, for most people, when you say, what are your goals? People rarely want to say money, even though if you dig deep, that's it. Most things are answered by money, but we feel we can't talk about it.
That is very true. Okay, I want to put one last comment on, and then you're going to talk about homework. I love this comment from Robin. Another benefit of setting a timer is the kids learn by example. If mom can do something for 15 minutes, they can too. That's an awesome bit. And I mean, Robin has a busload of kids. So if there's anybody that knows how to manage a busload of kids, it is Robin. So great tip. Thank you for sharing that, Robin. Okay, Chinelo, tell them, I mean, Actually, let me do this. Let me just remind everybody about where we're going next with Beyond the Camera. And then Chinelo, I want you to give them homework. How do they apply what it is you've talked about today? What's one thing that they can go and do? And then we'll wrap up. So for March, everybody, the content or the topic or the theme, if you will, of all 3 speakers in March, we've got 3 speakers in March, is all about content. We're going to talk about social media. Most of it will be Facebook. I'm sure we will answer questions on some of the other platforms. So we have Stephanie Thompson, who is going to talk about learn, launch, and succeed with social media. Can't wait for that one. Tammy Schrin, I've known all these women for so long. Tammy is going to talk about book publishing. Now, specifically what she's going to talk about is, you mentioned journals and things like that. How do you get those published through Amazon? Awesome stuff. She's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for her. And then finally, Lori Conkler is going to also talk about social media. I think she's going to talk more about the ecosystem and how all the parts and pieces come together. Your Facebook personal profile, your business page, your group. How do you use them all together? She will be on the 24th. So it's going to be an awesome month. So Chinelo, I hope you'll join us again to watch some of these speakers, because it's really, really good stuff. Okay. Now let's get on to homework. What can they do to apply what they've learned? What's one thing that they can do, Chinelo?
Okay, I made some notes, but before that, join the membership.
Yes.
Join the membership. I'm in it. Join the membership. So choose one area of your life that makes you feel the most overwhelmed, and write out 3 reasons. I made the notes, so pardon me as I read. Write out 3 reasons why you think that area makes you feel overwhelmed, and pick one of those areas. Get out some paper and a pen, timer, like I said, and write down how you would feel. Literally, yes, write down how you would feel. Be very mindful about these things. So sit down, if you wanted a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever calms you down, some music. Write down how you'd feel if that problem was sorted. Then think about a cheap but rewarding self-care treat you'd like to get for solving the problem. So usually something small that you may not have time for. I love trees. I could spend hours in the woods. So for me, that would be a treat. Half an hour in the woods by myself. So something like that. So soak in the bath, an hour.
That's what I was thinking. I'm taking a bath. Bubbles, music, maybe a candle. That's what I'm doing.
Fantastic. An hour to read, but make sure it has nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with planning, nothing to do with things that stress you, just for you. And then set a timer for 10 minutes and brainstorm about the many ways you could solve this problem. Rank your solutions from 1 to 10. And
rank them. Oh, in order. Okay.
Yes. The top 3. Then set your timer for another 5 minutes and write a bullet point action plan for how to achieve. There we go. So you can see we've talked about the strategy. That's the overarching thing. We talked about the problem. Then your mindset. We talked about rewarding yourself. Get your mind involved. It's worth doing this. And then your strategy is the bullet points. And then the system is, how can I implement those things? What would help me implement those things? And get to work. It's easy to achieve, and then enjoy your reward.
That's a great model. I mean, you could apply that model over and over and over and over. I'm going to be taking a lot of baths. No, I'll come up with new rewards. Okay. And for those of you that are like, wait a minute, I didn't get all that. I will recap it and I'll post it for everybody so that you don't miss it. That's a wonderful little strategy. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for being on my show today. I appreciate it. You and I met in my Go Live challenge, and immediately we connected over Messenger, I believe. And yes, like there was just a connection and a vibe, and I just say that again. What?
And giggles,
lots of giggles between both of us. And even today, our voice chats, one or both of us, there's giggling going on. Usually for like the first 30 seconds of a voice chat, because we're giggling at the last voice chat, and then yeah. Anyway, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing all of this with us. Any final words, any words of wisdom that you want to leave people with today? Those mums out there that are experiencing EntrepreMum guilt.
Yes, you are enough. You are enough. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying, you are enough. You just need some help, some time, sit down, celebrate you. And then remember, As a mum, your children are your biggest fans. They're your biggest fans. Celebrate the things you do. As we spoke about earlier, write from a different person's perspective. If I walked into your house and I was going to look at you and say, what are the 3 things you've done today? What would you say to me you'd achieved? Look at yourself from another person's point of view and celebrate them. Celebrate them. You are enough. You are enough.
I love that so much. Thank you, Chinelo, and thank you all for joining in and asking questions and sharing your insights. For those of you in the Go Live League, we'll see you over in Zoom in a minute or 2, however long it takes us to shift over there. For everybody else, if you want to be on a future either interview show, you want to be on Beyond the Camera, let me know. If you want to, in the future, join one of our VIP sessions, you know where to find me for that too. All right, everybody, have a great Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.